Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Bart Curtis Show. And Coach, happy occasions on the last two. Not so happy this time, but before we get started, I do want to talk about Max Huffer, who is the father of our defensive back coach, Mark Huffer, and we lost Max on Friday also. He had a stroke, suffered complications, and has passed. And, I know you and the whole Tiger staff and everybody certainly want to express our condolences to Mark and to the entire Huffer family.
Absolutely, and it kind of puts things kind of in perspective. As you mentioned, Coach Huffer let us know about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, that his dad Max had a stroke, and explained the complications from it. And there was a little time there when it looked like he might be able to pull out of it,
right,
which wouldn't have surprised anybody.
Right.
But, it was his time. I've been trying to be in constant communication with Mark and Brooks regarding Max. And he did leave this earth on Friday. And, if Tiger Nation, if you guys can lift up the Huffer family in your prayers and thoughts, and let him know how much he and his family are appreciated, and that we're definitely there for them. And as I said, it puts Friday in perspective.
Absolutely.
That football is important. It's important to you. It's important to me. It's obviously important to Coach Huffer. But in the big scheme of things, it is just a game, and it is not life and death as many things are. So. Appreciate that. Appreciate you giving Mark and his father and family the time that they deserve, because it's a tough time, as you know, losing a parent, and unfortunately we all go through that. And at that time, really, you seek the strength and love and understanding from those closest around you.
Absolutely, Coach. And Max was just a great guy. I mean, I drank coffee with him so many times over the years. And he was a true Tiger fan, too, 100% WARSAW Tiger. So he will be missed. And we certainly hope that we can be there, and know we will be there for Mark and for the family as he goes through this trying time.
Absolutely. And I had the opportunity to meet him. Last year, he pulled his vehicle up to the side of the fence and watched the game, and stopped me on my way in. It was fortunate. It was a game where we had come out ahead, and had a little chat with him. And of course, ever since he's been had the stroke, Mark's kept me in the loop with what's going on. So, tough time.
Absolutely. We'll be back with more of the Bart Curtis Show, and Max, rest in peace, and send our love out once again to the Huffer family. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back once again to the Bart Curtis Show. This is show number 3, and of course, last Friday night we took on the Plymouth Rockies. Coach, it's always a fight with the Rockies. We all know that. All of us that have been around, and even as an outside observer, in your case, in the Northern Lakes Conference, it's always a battle with the Rockies.
Yeah, they're a well-coached team, and you said this is week 3. Maybe it's time to change the name of the show. But no, they, all credit to them. They came over to play. They're a well-coached team. They took huge advantage of the things that we don't do well, and we knew we were going to have to come in and play really hard and really well every snap of the game to just be in the thing, let alone win it. And unfortunately, they made us look derelict in some of the areas and expose some of our weaknesses. And we can talk about those, or we can move on to the positives, but the reality is reality. Right. We had opportunities, and once again, credit to Plymouth, because they made the plays. They made big plays when they had to, and they had 7 plays of 20 yards or more. We missed 36 tackles. We had 19 other miscues. both offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game. So, that recipe right there when you're facing an explosive team does not add up to a win.
Absolutely. Coach, as we, and I want to get inside the coach's head and kind of share a little bit with our audience here. There are mistakes that were made, obviously. One of the most glaring ones as I was going through and looking at clips and different things for the show was the missed tackle situation. Not to point a finger at any one particular group, but it was a weakness that was exposed to us here. The question is, as we look at that and make adjustments for this coming week in practice, what do we do to get better?
Well, it's kind of a catch-22 because the things that we're not really good at that you need to work on, open field live tackling, are also things, A, you're only allowed to do twice a week with the IHSA rules, which is a great rule. Mm-hmm. But B, every time you do that, you take the risk of depleting your troops even further.
Sure.
So you got to find a happy medium. I don't think you can come out and run Oklahoma drill for 2 straight days or 2 out of your 4 prep days, but we definitely need to be more physical in practice. Saying that I revert to that I've heard often, if you practice soft, there's no way you can play hard.
Right.
And I don't think we practiced soft this week, but I don't think we had our best focus week of practice. That being said, that's our responsibility.
Right. All right, Coach, let's talk for just a few moments here, and we do want to focus on the positive because this is a positive program. The Tigers are 2-1 on the season. There's been great things that have been happening throughout the program there, one of which we're going to talk a little bit to Coach Owens at the later on in the show here, and the Young Tiger program. We're going to talk about that, and we'll show you some clips of that.
That's great. I think the relationship has been really positive. We have almost 200 young men playing tackle football in our community, all the way from rookie tackle to our lower division, which is our 9 and 10-year-olds, and then our 11 and 12-year-olds in the upper division. I had the opportunity to watch them yesterday.
They're fun to watch.
They're fun to watch, and there's nothing quite like having those little guys on the sideline. Half of them ain't bigger than a football.
Right.
And their enthusiasm and them having them in the locker room, I wish we could have put on a little better show for them and had the opportunity to come out with a win while they were there, but it didn't happen that way. But they're running our offense, our defense, they're using our terminology. They come out and we host one night we do a 2-3 hour mini clinic with our kids for their coaches. And we go out and eat wings afterwards and answer questions, and they feel free at any time. They know they can contact anybody on my staff to answer specific questions or general questions. And between that and our flag league and our junior high programs at Lakeview and Edgewood, I feel like we have everybody on the right page and the same page. Which is,
that's crucial.
It is, and it's how you build a program.
Right.
We want to build something here that's going to last a long time.
Coach, let's turn our attention to the game. There were some positive things that were going on with the football game, although the score wasn't, what we wanted it to be there. Let's talk about, in your eyes, as you watch film and stuff, some of the positive things you did see from the Tigers.
Well, I think we did an adequate job between the tackles defensively. None of the plays that Plymouth ran in A or B gap, other than one, wasn't anything that we couldn't handle. They really hurt us out on the perimeter. They were more physical than we were out on the perimeter. We did not have proper leverage in many circumstances with our outside linebackers and our corners. Safeties took some bad angles, and as we mentioned, we missed some tackles. Offensively, now positive-wise, we played hard every snap.
Yeah, I agree. And Coach,
our kids fought to the bitter end up until that 4th and 2. Where we got the ball back, gave RO a shot to win the thing late.
Right. I had just, of course, out in the community, people go, well, were they, still from kind of a hangover of beating Michigan State? And I said, no, I don't think that was the case. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not around the varsity as much as I am the freshman kids and stuff there, but I never, in fact, Wyatt, when I interviewed him for the last show there, he said, well, one thing we got to make sure is that we keep our heads and we go about this. So I don't really feel like that that's a legitimate argument.
Well, first of all, you can't stop it.
Right.
So if it is there, all you can do is hope to control a little bit. But you know, there's a balance, Dave, between having the excitement and the interest level in the community when you do win a big game like we did 9 days ago. So at what point do you squelch that? At what point do you fan the fires of that? At what point do you shut it down? You want the interest, but you also got to keep the kids grounded and realize, don't forget what it is. We're not good enough as a football team to not practice hard and not play hard and not do the little things right. So, you know, that's important, that anybody on our schedule moving forward, we can compete with, and anybody on our schedule moving forward has the ability to punch us in the mouth and beat us.
Oh, absolutely. No question about that there. I thought your fullback, Juan, did an outstanding job. He carried the ball a lot, and as I was looking at tape and stuff myself, I thought about John McKay. They asked him about O.J. Simpson carried the ball like 40 times or something like that, and McKay's response was, hey, that ball ain't heavy. So I don't know whether that's the right response.
It isn't, and oftentimes we're not sure who's going to get the football on a particular play. He is certainly one of those options. And he had 37 carries for 150 tough yards. There were a couple of them where I thought, hey, you know what, we keep our eyes up a little bit, do a little shimmy here in the hole.
I saw that, yeah.
Maybe it goes the distance, maybe it doesn't. He's learning the B-back position.
Right.
It is, you know, you take a kid like Juan with his speed, athleticism, football savvy, and you put him back there and you hope that the transition to that will take place. And it has slowly, but there's still some nuances and some things that he needs to understand about the paths he takes and the holes he hits, and what we're trying to accomplish and who's getting blocked defensively where from what angle. You know, we rushed for 200 and I want to say 80 or 90 yards.
Right.
You know, it came down to 2 field goals.
Right.
Although I love our field goal kicker, I love that we're able to get 3 points.
Sure.
Not finishing drives and not being productive. We play well offensively. We were not a productive offense.
That's right.
We didn't score enough points.
Right.
And we need to be able to do that.
Right. Coach, I'm going to turn our attention now. You're getting the staff together here. It's actually Sunday afternoon. For those of you who don't know that we tape this, this is not live. But at any rate, getting the staff together. Yeah, I guess so. I let our secret out. But we're getting ready to prepare for Elkhart Memorial. Let's talk about Elkhart Memorial. It's going to be the last time we get to play them as Elkhart Memorial. So give us some of your thoughts about that.
Scott Shaw, I've known Scott a long time. His son, Kyle, was one of my offensive coordinators and coached with me for 10 years. He just took a job in Edwardsburg, Michigan, but I know the family well. He is a great football coach, and they are a formidable foe. They are big up front. They are big on both sides of the ball on the line. Very athletic team. They can harm you in a lot of ways.
Right.
And last year we were in a dogfight with them. Quite honestly, we were fortunate to win 14-7.
Right.
And so we're going to have our hands full. And as you said, it's the last year for Elkhart Memorial football. They'll combine those schools and make it Elkhart High School. And then our reward for that is Mishawaka gets to slide into that spot. So. Yeah. Not looking ahead.
From the frying pan into the fire there.
Yeah. But you know what? As I said last week, we want to play the best out there.
Sure, absolutely.
So Elkhart Memorial certainly falls into that category. They beat Goshen 48-0. They lost a tough one to Elkhart Central. As I said, they're a formidable foe, and we're going to have to play our best football to win.
Absolutely. A couple of the keys, you think, for the Tigers here as far as goes to winning this game?
Well, obviously, no knock on Harrison Mevis, and we did say that we wanted every possession to end in a kick. Not every possession did.
Right.
But we have got to stop drive-stopping penalties. We self-implode, and we have to have the ability to execute 10, 12, 14, 18 plays in a row without hurting ourselves, and because we're not a 2nd and 25 team, we're not a 1st and 20 team.
Sure.
The penalties are unexcusable. We had 9 penalties for 99 yards, And you're not going to beat the Sisters of the Poor with an effort with miscues like that. You watched Army yesterday.
Yes, I did.
Army against Michigan. Every snap matters.
Right.
I'm sure they are, a lot of people are probably telling them, hey, great job, this and that. We spent a week with their staff over spring break. I can guarantee you that is not their mindset whatsoever.
Right.
That it is, that they believe they should have won that game. They had ample opportunities to win it. And, my point is they had a 14-7 lead, 2nd and goal on the 1-yard line, and came away with 0 points.
Right.
And we have done similar things and did Friday. And you can't do that.
Right, absolutely. Well, Coach, thanks for being with us. I know you want to get with the staff here and start planning and getting things together for the Elkhart Memorial Week. We want to wish you the best of luck in that. And certainly, also, I want to take a moment. I know you're not big on this, but I want to congratulate you for being the Coach of the Week in the entire state of Indiana as a result of the win over Michigan City. There was this guy that was filming this. The Colts had a representative that came up and Mike Pryor, a former player, came up and made a presentation to the student body in front of our pep session and everything. And there was a guy running around filming the thing that looked a lot like me.
He looked exactly like you.
Exactly. But then
when the crowd going,
I had everything. I had all things.
Dave TV.
Yeah, it was wonderful. But then when I took the disc out and then I popped it back in the next morning to do an interview with you for the radio show, it said format, push here. I pushed there, and it erased everything. So it's my fault. I want everybody to know that.
The tempo for the weekend because there was a few of our film situation Friday night. We were not at full capacity. It was not our. Obviously, we still got it, but thank you very much. That was an honor. But I try to tell the kids, nothing's ever as good as it seems. Nothing's ever as bad as it seems. Somewhere in between, reality sets in.
Right.
And 168 hours ago from the game after the time after the game versus Plymouth, we're dancing around, hugging each other, taking pictures. Everybody's happy.
Sure.
And one day you're drinking the wine, the next day you're stomping the grapes.
Absolutely.
So,
well, the other thing nice about it too, we get a $2,000 check to the school.
Absolutely.
From the Colts, which we can earmark that, of course, for the football program and
buy a lot of Arby's sandwiches.
Absolutely, for sure. Well, Coach, thanks for being with us again.
Thank you, Dave.
And best of luck as we head into the Elkhart Memorial Week. And we do go to Elkhart Memorial. I want to point that out to everybody. And it's a 7 o'clock kickoff time up there at Elkhart Memorial Field.
Correct.
Thanks, Tigers. Coach. Go Tigers. We'll be back with more of the Bart Curtis Show right after this. And welcome back, everyone. We're back here with a couple of our players here, and Alex Jordan and Jacob Shivington. And guys, I know it was a disappointing loss for us against Plymouth, but before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about you as an individual. Tell me what your position is and what you do for the Tigers in your position.
Well, I'm a wide receiver, and the split end is the same thing, but I usually just block.
Okay, all right, and?
I play split end as well, and we block on the edge and try and set the edge for the runners going outside.
Absolutely, and of course in our offense, it is key that you guys are able to do the blocking that you're doing, because if you don't, obviously, we're not going to get too much yardage. So tell us a little bit about, you work with Coach Barlow probably for the most part. Tell us a little bit about the normal practice session for you guys. We'll start with you, Alex.
Usually just ball handling and stuff like that, and then catching, and then breakdown and blocking and stuff like that.
All right, and same thing for you, Jacob?
Yeah, we'll work on our blocking and trying to take the right angle, on a switch block or anything like that, and having good communication with the halfbacks.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about the Plymouth game. I know it was a disappointing loss for everybody, and we're certainly, don't feel good about it here. We're Saturday morning after the game. Give us some of your thoughts about it, and I'll ask each one of you. Alex, how do you feel? I mean, I know we all feel bad that we lost the game there, but overall here, the atmosphere of the game last night and things that took place, just kind of some general observations on your part.
We did some things well, but we just got to leave it in the past and move on.
Right, I think we had a great motivational speaker last on Friday morning. Scott Green, I believe was his name, if I remember right. Pastor Green. He's from WCC, and he talked about the rear view mirror and how we have to kind of put things in the past once it's happened, and then march on. And I think that you guys totally understand that. Jacob, some of your thoughts about the game last night?
Personally, I think we started slow, and then we didn't finish drives, and that's kind of what led to us losing last night.
And I think also Plymouth came out with a real purpose here. I thought that they were playing it was certainly the best game that they played so far this season. Wouldn't you guys agree to that?
Yeah.
Did you feel like that there was some hard hitting going on out there?
Yes, there was.
Let's talk for a moment here about, at halftime, the Tigers made some adjustments and those kind of things. Can you tell us a little bit about that, what Jacob, with halftime in the locker room?
We were just looking at what Plymouth was doing and trying to adjust on it and seeing what we could do better.
Absolutely. Anything specifically that you guys were told, Alex, in your case here, at halftime?
Just be physical and get after them.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's talk about, like I said, it's rearview mirror time. Plymouth is over and done with, and next up is Elkhart Memorial. Have you guys got a chance to look at Elkhart Memorial, any tape or anything right now yet or not?
No, sir. We were just looking at the film for Plymouth.
Right, checking that things out. It's one thing I should point out to our audience here. Tigers spend a lot of time looking at their tapes, the tapes that from the game the night before, and also you guys will get into the phase here where you're going to be looking at a lot of Elkhart Memorial tape and putting together the scouting report and getting ready for them. Some of your plans here for this week's practice. Let's talk about that.
Just go as hard as I can, do the best I can, and be hard.
All right. Well, very good. Same kind of answer for you, Jacob.
Yeah, we just gotta learn to stick on our blocks. We let some of the corners make the plays, and we can't have that happening.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thanks for being with us here on the show. I know it's not a good time to interview after a loss like this, but, the show must go on. And like we said, we put things in the rearview mirror and march on, and we travel up to Elkhart Memorial. Play them for the last time, actually, because they're going to go into a different conference and merge with Elkhart Central. So it should be a big challenge for the Tigers. Thanks a lot for being with us here, and we want to wish you the best of luck here as we head into Elkhart Memorial Week, guys.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you guys there. We'll be back with more of the Bart Curtis Show right after this.